Still on completing the square, let's look at our homework sums. 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. If you had to just solve for x, what would be the motion? You're seeing a
Square.
quadratic equation means put it equal to
0.
Done. Then try and
Factorize.
If there are no factors,
Use the formula.
That's always going to be the case. But ma'am says using completing the square, so if you do all of that, you get no marks. You have to do completing the
Squares.
How does completing the square work? This must be a 1. So I need to get the 2 away there and make this a 1x squared. How do I get that right? Because there is no common factor, but you make it come out. So what do I need to put there so I can still get plus 3? Plus 3 over 2. 2 over 1, 3 over 2 will give me the 3 and the x, you write. And then we've got minus 5 and we've got equal to 0. Then our technique comes. Remember, these are the two that I'm trying to work with. Completing a trinomial that will give me a bracket squared. That is completing a square. So now that it's 1, I can take the coefficient of x, not that original one, but this 3 over 2. And what do I do with it? Times a half and square it. So that gives me 3 over 4, which gives me 9 over 16. That's got to be added. Is it truly 9 over 16 that came into the sum? No, it's 9 over 16 timed with 2 in the front. So that means it's actually 9 over 8. So I have to subtract 9 over 8. Careful. It's not 9 over 16. Usually if it's nice and easy ones that there's nothing standing in the front there, we say plus the same thing minus the same thing. Because when we add, we subtract to make it legal. It's legal because it's actually 9 over 8 that was added, so 9 over 8 will be subtracted. Can we just answer?
It's negative 49 over 8.
Thank you. And then we complete the square. Please don't use the 2 there in the front. Oopsie, not an equal sign, it's an equation. So we've still got the 2 there. Complete the square. So it's the first term square rooted is x. The sign is plus. Square rooted 3 over 4. And if I had not made it an equation and stopped there,
Dames en heren, jammer vir die onderbreking. Die leerder wat 'n rooi golfie ry, wat langs die paviljoen gestop het, moet asseblief nou sy kar gaan skuif. Dankie.
if it had not been an equation, you would have stopped here, completing the square. This would have helped you to find the, what's this value always? Minimum or maximum? Which one is it? It's a minimum because A is positive, so we've got a smiley face, minimum value of negative 49 over 8. But it is an equation, so we have to solve this equation by saying how do I solve this equation? Remember, your purpose is find x. That plus must go away, the square must go away, the times must go away, the negative must go away. Which one first? It's not up to you. It has to be the 49 over 8 that goes away to the other side. So we have to divide it by 2. X plus 3 over 4 still squared. Divide by 2 or times or half, so that will become 49 over 16. And that, okay, we'll see now how it works. And then it would mean I have to go square root that, x plus 3 over 4. And if you square root it yourself, you put a plus and minus. So that'll then give me equal to. And this tells me something. If it's not still inside of the square root, this thing has factors. Just like with the formula, because actually from the completing the square we get to the formula. If this answer is not going to have any roots in it, it should have had factors. But would I have given you all the marks if you factorize this top thing? Nope. I said completing the square, you do completing the square. So now to get my answer, it'll be negative 3 over 4 plus or minus 7 over 4. Would I stop there? Because you can simplify that. The one answer is negative 3 plus 7, which gives me
Onto the floor.
4 over 4, which is 1. You've got to go actually work it out. And the other one would be negative 3 minus 7 is 9 minus 10 over 4. So that would be your two answers. That's why I'm saying these had to have been rational answers. There had to have been factors. For it being 1 times 2 and 1 times 5 would have worked for me. Because this answer is going to be 5 over 2. Go check it out. But if you did that, got the answers, it's just a check. If you got to the answers with your calculator, it's just a check. You'd have to show me the completion of the square by R squared. Because it's going to be a 6-mark question. For number 2, you have to get rid of that 3, so we're taking out a comma. Okay, I just want a space here.
You right.
Take out the common 3. What's left? X squared. It's not really a common 3, are you with me? Okay, but I'm forcing it. So this has to be negative 7 over 3. Making sure that when I multiply it, it's still minus 7. Then I'm needing something here, desperately searching for something that I'm completing the square with to make it a square. And then the negative 3 is still standing here on the outside. What's the number I have to add to the sum? You take negative 7 over 3 times up, half and square it. You see that this technique always works. Half of it and squaring it will give you that number that will make it a perfect square. So when I do that, I'm going to get 7 over 6, which will be 49 over 36. Is that truly what's here? Must I say negative 49 over 36? No, because of the 3 in front there. It was actually 49 over 12. So it's got to be minus 49 over 12. Am I right? Check me. Then we're completing the square.
It's minus 49, 36, and the other place is plus.
3 goes into 36, 12. Okay, then we've got to complete the square. The 3 stays there, we're completing the square. So we've got, let me just check it again. 49 times 3, the 3 goes in there 12 times. So then I'm going to have minus as well. Just, we haven't had one like that. Say for instance, I had to take out a minus here. Then this would have been a minus answer and you'd have to say plus. You have to make it legal, whatever might happen. It's the same principle that you have to follow. So we've got square root of that is x, sign is negative, square root is 7 over 6. And this answer, please?
85, negative 85.
Okay, and that would be when it's an expression, you stop there, get yourself your maximum or your minimum over here. This is again going to be a minimum. And then for my answer, I have to say, take across, divide, square root, and plus on either side to get to my x. So you're seeing there's a pattern here. So we've got 3 times the bracket square equal to 85 over 12. Then we've got divided by 3, meaning this is going to become 85 over 36. Then we've got, what must we do? Square rooted, plus minus. So this answer would be plus or minus 85 over 6. Great. Earlier or later, you're going to have to simplify that. Root 36, that was actually a rational number. Then we take the 7 over 6 across. Is it okay if I put it at the back? Is it okay if I put it in the front? Is it okay if I put everything on 1 so that it resembles the quadratic formula? Because that's what your calculator also does, because it has been programmed with it. But there's nothing wrong with keeping it as is and saying plus 7 over 6 you've done. Completing it and putting it in simplest third form. I don't know if 85 can be written in a different way. But if it can't, then that's your simplest third form. Solve using completing the square. If they didn't say that, or whether they did say that, can I not divide the whole thing by 2? Okay, so please do that. Makes your life so much easier. So we're finishing off with a nice, easy sum. If you didn't see that, you're going to carry on with that too. You're going to get to the same answer, but you may just life a little bit more difficult. Since it's an equation, why not just say x squared plus 5x? Oopsie. And that's still going to be a 7, right? Did you have to do that? Could you take the 2 out and put it in the front?
Yes.
Okay, because it's an equation, you could have gotten rid of the 2. So now it's an easy peasy sum. We've got 1 as the coefficient. We take the coefficient, which is 5 of x. So it's 5 times a half and square it. And this time it's 5 over 2 squared is 25 over 4. Then we subtract. So now I'm in what now? Because there's nothing in front of it. This 2 term becoming a 3 term forced by me to complete the square was nice and easy because it had a 1 there. Must I ask you in a test one that doesn't have a 1 there? Like the previous ones. Can I give you one with a 1 there? But you don't know, so you've got to be prepared for both of them. Doesn't always have to be the worst of the worst. So then let's complete the square. Let's see. This one would be x, the square root of that first term. Sign is a plus. This one square rooted is 5 over 2. Add these two together, please give me an answer.
53
Yeah, over 2.
Right?
53 over 2.
Okay, and now we're solving for x. If it wasn't an equation, we'd stop there for completing the, no, then it wouldn't be right. If it wasn't an equation, that 2 still had to be here. Are you with me? Because I divided the whole thing by 2 because it was an equation. It wouldn't be the same exact answer. Okay, now solving for x. First, take the 53 over 4 across, becoming a plus. The moment that this is a negative, there's no solution. Doesn't mean the sum doesn't want to work. What are the roots? What are these x values actually, if we go back to parabolas, ax squared plus bx plus c? X-intercept. So sometimes there are no solutions because they don't cut the x-intercept. So no solution doesn't mean the sum doesn't want to work. Okay, then we've got to get the square root. The moment you put that square root there yourself, plus minus, so the answer is equal to plus minus the root of 53 divided by 2. Answer, x is equal to, I just always like to put it in the front. And if you want to put it all on top of one fraction, that's even better, but that's perfect. Depending on if I ask you to please give me the answers in decimals or leave it as third form. Last quick thing, what is the nature of these roots?
Real. Okay. And then they are
Real?
irrational.
Irrational because there's fractions.
Unequal.
Because there are
Two solutions.
and there's your homework. Revision.